much less successful weekend for Major League Baseball. Although they did make $1 billion, so that's pretty good.
They did make $1 billion, but somehow at the same time, the St. Louis owner says that owning a baseball team is unprofitable. Not necessarily the best timing, I guess, with days later and a $1 billion contract coming out.
Yeah, I mean, we just we I feel like we've just been saying baseball stinks for about now 30 episodes, and
We're not
I,
alone, though.
we're not alone. Yeah, I mean, it's upsetting, but what's going to happen is they're going to play 50 games and the owners are going to win because they're not paying the full prorated salaries, and it's going to leave a sour taste in everyone's mouth. And then there's going to be a collective bargaining agreement coming up in about a year, maybe 2 years, somewhere in that range.
After
And
next year's the CBA.
all this sour taste in people's mouths are going to come up again, and we're going to go through the same dance in about 2 years. And I'm just like, I'm over it.
Yeah, the players decided they're not going to counter the offer that the MLB gave them, which was basically the repackaged offer that the MLB continues trying to give the players of they're going to cut the prorated salary amount, but there was going to be a varying amount of money from the broadcast pool slash the expanded playoff scenario. But the key matter to it all was the owners kept saying that the players were going to need to take another cut to their prorated salary. And I'm sorry, the owners and the players agreed to a prorated salary back in March or early April. Coming back to this table shows either lack of good faith in that first contract negotiation, in my opinion, or just a misunderstanding of how impactful this delay was going to be. But this has all just been a big charade in terms of the MLB owners trying to say they don't want to lose money, they don't want to have a baseball season if they're going to lose money. Well, they're going to lose money with or without a baseball season, and by holding out this long, they've showed they're fine in losing some aspect of money because this could have been settled a month or two ago, but they're not doing it. They are trying to save their ass. They are trying to limit their losses, and it is a short-term, short-sighted monetary problem that is holding back the MLB from starting. It's selfish.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of issues going on. I mean, well, for starters, I'm going to go back to where you started with this, and I think going back in March, I don't know if they fully expected like no fans. Like, it was March, it was early in the process. If you remember, they were like playing spring training games with fans, and the next day they just stopped. There was no
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, we're gonna like the Big East tournament tipped off a game without fans. Like Major League Baseball had fans in the stands and then no games. So they didn't know. But I just think baseball is they're not in a good spot right now. It's ugly because it's so public, and it's disappointing, but at the end of the day, I think Manfred's going to put his force his 50 games, and I'm sure some amount of the players will show up and some won't, but I'm sure a large majority will, and you're going to have an baseball season.
It is just very frustrating from the fan perspective
Yes.
because the MLB had the chance to be the lone sport on the market. They had the chance to be back, to be able to do something where they were the first, and they were honestly expected to be the first sports league back at some capacity because of where this fell in terms of their season starting. But instead, it has turned into this myriad of issues beyond the playing field, beyond what this is actually supposed to be about of the health and safety of the players. It has turned into a monetary issue, which is a travesty to everything that is going on outside of sports right now, that it is money that is holding this back, not the health and safety concerns for the players.